If you are a parent of a newborn, I am sending you lots of love and virtual hugs because this is a really challenging stage. The newborn cuddles are wonderful and it's so fun to be able to finally have your baby in your arms. However, it is a lot of work, and if this is your first time parenting, it's not anything that we really can be prepared for. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop care that our newborns require. Many families come and ask me, what is the best way to get my baby on a schedule? I can't take this random, I don't know what comes next type of day. And as a pediatric sleep consultant, I have the answers for you. That actually doesn't include a schedule, but does include sustainable changes to help you get through the newborn stage. Hi, my name is Sarah, and as a certified pediatric sleep expert, I have made it my life's mission to help you and your family find the sleep that you all need. I work with families with children through the age of 8, but my favorite stage to work with are those tiny little babies, because you as parents are in a really vulnerable place, and I want to make sure that you feel nice and held and supported through the stage of sleep that can be really inconsistent and frustrating. So let's talk about ways that you can make your newborn sleep a little more sustainable using the Eat, Play, Sleep routine. And make sure you stick around to the end for more information about how to receive free access to my newborn sleep course. What is the idea of Eat, Play, Sleep? We know that when our babies come to the world, in those first 16-ish weeks of life, there really isn't any rhyme or reason or routine or consistency. I always say the only thing that's consistent is that everything is inconsistent. So it's hard to expect that our child is going to be sleeping and eating and doing all of the things on a set time schedule. And what I mean by that is at 8 a.m. they sleep, at 9 a.m. they eat, at 9:30 they have a diaper change, and they sleep again at 10 a.m. That is going to look really variable every single day and will start to look a little more patterned, but not until we get closer to the 4-month mark. In the interim, though, it isn't helpless. It isn't a lost cause. We can help our children establish a great feeding routine and a great sleep routine and good digestive health and great sleep hygiene all at once by using what many experts call the Eat, Play, Sleep routine. It is pretty self-explanatory, and it's kind of hard to nail down in practice, so I really want to make sure you're giving yourself grace with this. Remember, this is a routine. Routines are fluid, and they're meant to be changed, and they are able to be evolved. This is not a strict set of rules that we need to follow, and it could look different day to day. It's very possible that one day you may nail it. You may go through all of your different phases where we're eating, playing, sleeping, eating, playing, sleeping, and we go through that and we make it to bedtime and we feel like, wow, we actually accomplished something because I could anticipate what was coming next. And just like clockwork, the next day, your baby might not do any of it. They might eat and then sleep and then play and then eat and eat and eat and eat and maybe not sleep for 2 hours. And if you're experiencing that, it is normal. Frustrating, but totally normal. So let's talk about suggestions for setting up your day like this, and as well as expectations. My biggest suggestion is to really lock in your start time for the day so that you begin as you mean to go. And this doesn't have to be super early in the newborn days. When we are about 4 or 5 months old, we're gonna expect that wake up time is sometime between 6 and 7 a.m. For newborns, this could just be a time where you do another feed and get another 2 hours of sleep yourself. So whatever your start time for your day is, I want you to make that consistent every day and make it something that's realistic. I would say sometime between 7 and 8 a.m., you nail down one time, 7:30 for example, and then every day, no matter what, you are going to try and start your day at 7:30 a.m., meaning you are going to wake your baby up and you are going to give them a feed. The first part of the Eat, Play, Sleep routine is to feed directly upon waking. Why do we want to feed directly upon waking? Well, because we know that your baby's well rested, We know that this means they will be alert and attentive either at the breast or the bottle. And as a result, they're going to take a really full and efficient feed. We want to make sure that we are getting full and efficient feeds as many times as we can throughout the day, so that we can start to stretch our feeds longer and longer throughout the nighttime. After your baby has finished eating, it will be time to have some playtime. Level set expectations for this, because playtime in the very early weeks of life, weeks 0 to 6, 7 or 8, may look like 5 to 10 minutes tops. They may be feeding for 30 minutes, and then they may only be able to stay awake for another 15 minutes after that before they fall asleep and need another nap. And that's okay. We are looking at quality over quantity in terms of playtime at this point, and it doesn't need to be stressful for you. Playtime can literally be them sitting in your lap and you looking at them. Maybe boring AF for you, but your little one is going to be super engaged with just staring at your face. Other suggestions for playtime include incorporating tummy time, so that we can work on that core and that neck strength. And finally, my favorite suggestion for playtime was always to walk around my house with my child in my arms or in a carrier and just talk about what I was doing. So I kind of used playtime as a way to get some of my own stuff done in short little chunks. So I would speak to her, which is proven to really increase that receptive language, so understanding and receiving language and starting to process it from a very early age. And I described everything. Okay, Adriana, we're walking from the living room into the kitchen, and I'm going to go into the drawer and open it up and pull out a spoon and brew my coffee because you were awake all night last night and I'm exhausted. And I would go about my day doing that, and that eventually would lull her kind of into a slumber, and we'd start the entire cycle again. We have already eaten, we have played for a little bit of time, and now we are going to sleep. And this is going to be something your baby needs a lot of in those early weeks of life. A lot of sleep might come in very short chunks, very frequently throughout the day. So it isn't uncommon for newborns to nap for 20 minutes. It's also not uncommon for a newborn to nap for 3 hours. What I want to make sure that you're prioritizing is their sleep so that they are not awake too long, and also making sure that we are feeding them often so that they aren't sleeping too much during the day, which could affect their nighttime sleep. Not because too much daytime sleep means they don't need to sleep as much as night, but because when we do sleep for longer stretches during the day and we are not interrupting that sleep for feeding, we need to fit those calories in somewhere, and they're likely going to fall at nighttime. So let's talk a little bit about sleep expectations and what we can do for nap lengths and how to time those naps during the first couple weeks of life. In the age of 0 to 4 weeks, I would expect that your child can only stay awake for about 30 to 45 minutes and then needs a nap. Therefore, you're probably just going to be eating and playing, meaning like changing a diaper on a diaper table, on a changing table, and singing a song to them, and then they're going to go to sleep again. In between 4 to 8 weeks, we might be able to stay awake for 45 to 60 minutes. In between 8 to 16 weeks, you might start to see that wake window, that amount of time they can tolerate being awake, extend from 60 to all the way up to 90 minutes. And when we are at the end of the wake window and we start to see sleepy cues and we realize that they've been awake for the appropriate amount of time, I want you to offer them a nap. Now, this could look like a nap in various ways. I really encourage families, especially in the early weeks of life, to just get them to sleep however they can that is safe. And if that means contact sleeping with you awake and able to monitor them, that is fine. Please don't worry about creating bad habits. There is no such thing as a bad habit in the newborn stage. They will learn techniques as they get older and can be developmentally ready for that, to learn to sleep independently. When we are looking at the length of sleep, they're likely going to sleep in your arms or in a carrier or in a car seat or in a stroller much longer than they will sleep if they were stationary on a flat surface like a bassinet. You do need a break though, so don't be afraid to put them down in a bassinet and try a bassinet nap for about 20 to 30 minutes during the day. The easiest time to get longer stretches of solo nap sleep is going to be the morning before 12 o'clock. And then after 12 o'clock, I want you to think about doing lots of contact and snuggle naps or naps on the go so that you can get out and about with your baby and find that life-baby balance. Disclaimer, I mentioned this once, but I think it's important to mention it again. There are days where your baby may not follow this routine, where they may feed to sleep, and then the whole thing is thrown off, where they're not going to be able to wake and eat again because they may not be hungry. It's all good. It's not a big deal. We just try again in the next phase. If it's a day where you have the tolerance and the energy to teach them, it's going to serve them well. And if you don't, that is fine, because a happy mama means a happy baby, and I want you to prioritize your mental health as well. You made it to the end, so let's talk about the access to my free newborn sleep course. Scroll to the bottom and click on the link to sign up, and the access will be sent directly to your inbox. Make sure you check your spam, just in case your email has flagged it otherwise. While you're there, leave a comment. Tell me how you found this helpful. Is this something that you are interested in? I would love to hear from you, and I love to help troubleshoot your sleep situations in those comments. Be sure to like the video, as well as subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when my sleep content is published. As always, from my living room to yours, thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you next time.